In the past week, ex-Vice President Al Gore and ex-President Bill Clinton attended the University of Miami to sold-out lectures and received just a great deal of enthusiasm for being there. Students were excited for these two 60-year-old men who have absolutely no real power in the world to come and speak to them. And I think it's an interesting scenario because it sort of illustrates how politics, popularity, and celebrity are all being blurred into one. And it begs the question. I remember I was talking with a friend and he was asking, well, do you think in 10 years our little brothers and sisters will be excited to see George Bush go around and talk and go around and give lectures? Will he receive the same sort of adulation that Vice President Al Gore and former President Clinton receive now? Because they really seem to have reached almost mythic status, especially Bill Clinton. Al Gore, it's sort of recent with his recent Oscar win and the success of his documentary, the success of his anti-global warming campaign. But Bill Clinton, for the last couple years, starting with his best-selling autobiography and just continuing nowadays with his lectures, with the Bill Clinton, I think it's the initiation, all the charitable work he does around the world. I mean, he's a rock star. He is at an all-time high. In office, he always had scandals or something doubting him. But now, at a time when he has no real power, no real influence, it seems like his popularity is reaching an all-time high. And if he entered the presidential race tomorrow, if that was feasible, I don't think anyone would bet against him. He would probably win in a landslide because, if nothing else, he would mobilize the youth voters like never before seen. So I don't know if George Bush will receive this sort of adulation. My guess is no, probably because Bush is just going to retire to his ranch and not do anything, whereas Clinton and Gore have stayed in the public eye and done concrete work. However, I don't think it's their work, which is very charitable, very generous, and shows that giving spirit is necessarily what makes them popular, because at the lectures, a lot of people, they didn't seem to really care what the two people were saying. It's just like they were there for the event. They were there to be in the presence of celebrity. So I think that one of the reasons they're popular is because there is such a huge backlash against conservatives now because the current administration is just so massively unpopular with most of the country. So it's good to reminisce about the good old times and look to two ex-leaders who aren't plagued by scandals anymore. But it's hard to pinpoint exactly why that two 60-year-old men would resonate so much with youth on today's college campuses. Because I'm sure it's not just at the University of Miami. I'm sure when they go to college campuses all around the country, they're pretty well received as the celebrities they are. And I think this sort of merger of politics and celebrities will be useful in predicting who will win in the 2008 race. Mayor Giuliani just entered the race for the Republican nomination and already leads in the polls because he has a sort of celebrity status, even though he hasn't even been a mayor in a couple of years. His handling of 9/11 in New York City had pushed him into sort of a celebrity position. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a great example. Celebrity turning, political figure. And then I think, whoever can capitalize most on their celebrity status on the Democratic side, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, will win that race. So in today's world, substance seems to lessen, and not to harp on a bad cliche, but it just seems to be true. And when you have these two men whose work may be unfamiliar with a lot of youth voters, but who could still capture the imagination of today's youth even more than they could when they were in office, actually had real power, it's sort of amazing. It's a sort of phenomenon, and best of luck to them because they're doing good things, but it's just very interesting to look at the whole situation of their celebrity and the mystique behind them now.